All right, here we go. So I'm going to show you how to use this thing. This is something I had to build in After Effects because you're right, there's no way to really do this. There are some hokey ways of using the normal time code inside of Premiere and kind of cropping off and changing colors a little bit, but you can't even change the font, and it's just pretty bad. So I'll show you how to use this thing. And here we go. So I've just got a picture here from, I think this was in 2005, actually. I was looking through old pictures. To use these, what do they call them? Essential graphics. You need to switch over to the graphics workspace. And you've got some things here that are kind of cool to use, lower thirds and such. The thing that I made is an essential graphic. So you go down here to the bottom and it says install it. Here's your running clock. We'll import that. I know it's an R, but I also put my initials on it because it's easier to find for me. And you just drag it right to the timeline. So as you can see, this is actually 2 hours worth. And there's the clock running back and forth. So pretty cool. And you can see it's running over the top of our footage that we have. So the way this works is while you are still in the graphics workspace, when you just click on this item, it brings up the controls that I was able to add in here. So you've got your position, your X and Y. You've got the scaling, if you need to scale. If you don't like how close together these digits are, you can space them, but you can see that this slider is crazy. So if you go over the number and hold, I think it's Control on a PC, it's Command for me, it slows that down. So you can get it just a little bit more open if you like, because even for me it's looking a little crazy. But it does do decimals, you just don't see the decimals. So I've pulled this out a little bit. And like I said, if you want to get it in there and maybe make it a little bit smaller, have it running, you can do that. It is stuck to AM. I didn't make it change at the 12-hour mark, so hopefully that's enough. It is 2 hours, but this slider, this was the only way to add a field where you could actually change the time. It starts at 0 seconds, so 31,000 seconds in is in the 8 o'clock hour in the morning. So as you see, as you drag this, it goes all over the place. So if you need to change the time, you can go one at a time like this if you want. Or if you want to do the math, I don't really know if you're into that sort of thing. So we want to, you said about 8:40, I think is when you're going to start. So 120 seconds would take us up to 31,200. There you go, 8:40. And from that point, it starts running. So we've got it playing here. And it's right on the nose. As you can see, the frames, and it switches right at that point. It is set up to 2997 drop frame. If you make this 24 frames, it'll still be pretty close. I think by the end of the 2 hours, it's only a second off or so. So you're still going to be pretty close. And if you want to go to 60 frames, I think it'll still line up because 30 and 60 played nicely. But this is white. So if you want to make that a little easier to read, you can just do something like add new item, black video. Gets the sequence settings. Let's drop that on here. Pull this out. You have to go back to the editing panel, workspace as it may be. Just make a circle. So this is the mask. I'm just going to drag this down here. I'm sure you can see where I'm going with this. Let's feather this out quite a bit. Drop the opacity down. And then we'll click off. And so you can see it just kind of darkens it behind it. And it'll go. So you can do all your editing here. You can, if you want to jump ahead in time, so say you're editing and you've got maybe a gap of time, you can cut it and run it ahead and it'll pick back up. So 37 and then, yeah, it'll go that way. But this is also, I don't know if this will work. I think the easier way, if you need to skip ahead like a couple of hours or something, you could go in and trim it off over here, or you can just reinsert it. So I'll go JF again, drag this to the timeline. It starts again, and when we click on it, we can edit it. So you would scrub ahead, and then that's where that one starts. This one would end off where you clipped it. This one starts where you need it to. And same controls, so you can re-enter your stuff in there. So I think that should work. I'm sorry I couldn't make it to where you could use your own font from a drop-down or something. It's just not one of those things that are editable, because if you think about it, this is kind of designed for like keeping with brand for editors. So you know, the graphics department or art department would send these out to the editors, and you know, they would keep all the fonts and everything. But for your purpose, I think this will work. If you want a different font, let me know. I think I can alter it. We'll try to stick to Adobe fonts. I know that this is Helvetica New or Neue bold. So if you wanted to stick with a different font that you were using for the project, you can do that. But yeah, oh yeah, because it wants to use Adobe fonts. So it actually gives me a warning that this font isn't available for you to download. But yeah, just let me know if you want to change that, and I think this will work. Obviously the positioning is different on that new one. So I hope that works. It should get you to where you need to be. All right, well, have a good day. I'll talk to you soon.